everybody, what's going on? This is Dustin Ponder
and Dave Schneider,
and we want to make a special Worker Power Hour video for our members in Teamsters Local 512 because we have a critical union meeting that's coming up this Saturday, April 20th. It's going to be at 11 a.m. at our Union Hall, 1210 North Lane Avenue. And this is so important because we're going to be voting on critical bylaws amendments that are going to restore member control and strengthen and unite our membership if they are passed.
Yeah, folks, there are going to be no paper ballots going out in the mail. There's no online voting. The bottom line is whoever shows up to this meeting is going to get an up or down vote, and that's who's going to determine whether or not these three bylaws amendments pass. We proposed all three of these back at the January union meeting because our Teamsters United chapter here in Jacksonville believes we've got to restore member control. And frankly, the strongest unions are the ones in which the members are engaged and actually control the priorities and the functioning of our local union. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into it. Dustin, tell us about this first amendment that we proposed.
Yeah, the first bylaws amendment would remove stewards' reimbursement of their dues. Currently in the bylaws, steward dues are supposed to be reimbursed by the local union for every elected steward. However, in practice, President Jim Shirley and the local union executive board have been picking and choosing and basically only reimbursing the dues of their friends and allies. And we think that's really wrong, and it's a dangerous precedent to set in our local, especially since the local is spending almost $30,000 a year on these dues reimbursements, and that's about $1,000 per each one of their friend and steward.
Now, Dustin, let me ask you, because I've certainly heard a number of detractors, people against this amendment, ask this. Let's go ahead and ask it for the audience here. I thought only chief stewards get their dues reimbursed in our local union.
Yeah, well, first off, that's not entirely true. Over on River City Daysort, we have a person who wasn't even elected, who was appointed later, who's not a chief steward, who is having their dues reimbursed. But the bigger issue than that is that if you look in the bylaws, there actually is no such thing as a chief steward. There's no language governing it. It's basically a position that's been made up by our executive board to grant more power or influence to certain stewards they think are close to them. There's nothing governing that, and it takes control out of our members. And instead of having their elected stewards and representatives, the executive board is circumventing their will by kind of creating this fake chief steward position and doling it out to their friends.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we go ahead and get into the second amendment that we proposed. Our second amendment is going to create a process, a democratic process for having steward elections in our local union. Right now, our bylaws do say that stewards have to be elected. However, they are so vague and there's so few actual guidelines in the bylaws that in practice, there's a lot of departments and parts of our local union that have never really had steward elections, certainly not in the time I've been in the union. I'm thinking in particular about package car drivers at UPS, thinking about the feeder department at UPS. I'm thinking about some of the different white paper contracts that our union represents. There are no steward elections there. Beyond that, though, since we don't have any kind of process that outlines a timeline for when elections should be had, that requires that notices for vacancies be posted, or really any kind of standardized rules that govern everybody, basically the local union officials sort of get to choose whenever and however they decide to run elections, if they do at all. So what we're going to do by proposing this amendment is create a standard process that everyone's going to have to play by. Where every steward's going to be elected and that the members are going to be able to choose the people that are going to best represent them. The truth of the matter is that union stewards are basically like the nerve endings of the union. They're in the workplace, they know what's going on. Dustin and I have both been elected stewards, and it's in part because, you know, we fight management. We know what's going on a day-to-day basis. And there's plenty of stewards who do exactly just that. The thing is, stewards who are representing the will of the members, that are standing up for them, and that are pushing back when employers overstep their bounds, have nothing to worry about with this, because those are the type of people that the members want. The truth is, though, across the board, we need steward elections if we want to have member control of this union. And that's what this new amendment is going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to move on. The third amendment that we proposed is actually really important. We're calling for the creation of a Stewards Council. So all our members who are elected stewards to represent the rank and file across this local union will get together and they will have a monthly Steward Council meeting if this bylaw is passed. Now, we've heard some things, the local union executive board's like, oh, they're trying to undermine our authority. It's some radical proposal. It's not. This is a bylaw amendment that we took right out of Local 804 in New York City, one of the strongest locals in the country. Many of you who've been following the contract fight just saw that they won an amazing supplement. They're going to be getting double time on Sundays, a $400 across-the-board pension increase, stronger language on 22/4s than anybody else has in the country. And that is a product of that. They have a member-driven, member-controlled union, in no small part thanks to the Steward Council that they have. A lot of you come out to union meetings and you see that if we bring up workplace issues or we ask questions, we kind of get the feedback, oh, this is not the place for that. Let's talk after the meeting. And then it gets swept under the rug. If the place for that to happen then has to be the Steward Council, a place where stewards from all the shifts can come together, that we can connect and we can openly talk about the issues that are going on in this union so we can actually solve them. Because this kind of backroom, keep the members and stewards in the dark, divided, it has to end. We have to unite all the members across the local, and the best way to do that is to bring all the stewards together, let them voice the issues of their members, your issues, and bring those to the fore of the executive board and make sure that action's taken on them. So we think it's really important that we pass all three of these because they're all going to work together to basically give you control over your workplace representatives and ensure that those workplace representatives keep you informed, they're fighting for your interests, and bringing back important information from the union to you.
Yep, folks, the truth is we need a member-controlled union. We need to put the members back in charge because, if you look at the stakes right now, we had a sellout UPS contract that was imposed on us. We've got members across the board that have issues that frankly, have in a lot of times gone undealt with, or it's taken too long to deal with them. I'm talking safety violations, supervisors working grievances, all the way up to subcontracting and harassment that happens on a regular basis. If we want a stronger union, we're going to need the members more involved, and these three bylaws amendments put us on the right track. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this is going to be an uphill battle. The truth is, a lot of people don't come out to the union meetings. In fact, last time we had bylaws amendments, it was about 130 people in our local union out of 4,000 that determined whether or not those bylaws amendments passed. So the truth is we need you to come out April 20th at 11 a.m. to the Saturday union meeting over at 1210 North Lane Avenue. We highly encourage you all to be out there because this is honestly the future of our union.
Absolutely. So we look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. Have a good one. Thank you.
Union Power.